This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Ford is giving its customers their own personal AI assistant. The feature will first be available through the Ford and Lincoln apps in the first half of this year. It gives the example of standing in front of a stack of wood at a home improvement store, but not knowing how much will fit in your vehicle. Ford says you'd be able to snap a picture of that wood, ask the AI assistant how much will fit in your F-150, and it would spit out the answer for you. An AI assistant specifically for commercial customers will also be coming soon too. And then in 2027, the company says the assistant will be integrated directly into Ford and Lincoln vehicles. In order to support that functionality, Ford has developed its own in-house high-performance compute center. The computer will first debut in the company's new universal EV architecture and will control all the functions for the infotainment, the driver assistance systems, the audio, and the networking. Not only is it faster than previous computers, it can handle more tasks that are complex. And by developing it in-house, Ford says it's significantly cheaper to produce and nearly half the size. The new EV architecture will also come with new hardware and software that allows for hands-free driving. That feature arrives in 2027 as well, and then in 2028, Ford plans to launch a Level 3 eyes-off system. The company claims it spent 30% less for the system developing it in-house rather than buying it from a supplier, and it says that will be part of the reason it will be able to offer all this technology on its mainstream cars, not just luxury models. Volvo is getting some significant upgrades to its EVs thanks to parent company Geely. While the new EX60 will be fully revealed on the 21st, it's providing a few interesting details now. The model will be based on Geely's SPA3 platform, which features an 800-volt electrical architecture that allows for things like much faster charging. The EX60 will be able to add up to 340 kilometers or 211 miles of range in 10 minutes of charging, and it will have an overall range of 810 kilometers or just over 500 miles. Thanks to new chips from NVIDIA, it can handle 4 times the operations as the EX90 and will be the first Volvo made with Megacastings, each one capable of replacing hundreds of stamp panels. Some people believe that Robotaxis will replace personal vehicles in the next couple of years, but the former CEO of Waymo thinks that's silly. John Krafcik, now a board member at Rivian, does not believe that transition will happen this decade. He thinks Robotaxis are a great option in addition to personal transportation, especially since kids can now get a ride without their parents. But he also thinks the technology behind Robotaxis, like LiDAR, is making personal vehicles safer, and that will help drive down the cost of those shared components as well. Thanks to the growing popularity of Chinese vehicles, car sales in the UK last year topped 2 million units for the first time since the pandemic. According to the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders, Automakers sold 2.02 million vehicles, up 3.5% from 2024, with Chinese automakers accounting for just under 10% of total sales. While the MG HS was the only Chinese model to crack the top 10 in sales last year, 3 Chinese models were in the top 10 in December: the MG ZS, the JQ7, and the MG HS. The Chinese EVs also helped boost fully electric sales by a quarter. Pure EVs accounted for 23% of the UK car market last year, which was up from 2024, but below the government mandate of 28%. And automakers also had to rely heavily on incentives to grow EV sales. Automakers offered more than £5 billion last year in EV discounts, which is the equivalent to about £11,000 per EV registered.
The automotive and industrial sectors are undergoing a historic transformation. Electrification, digitalization, supply chain reinvention, regulatory shifts. The pace is accelerating and the pressure to adapt is real. This is not a time for hesitation. It's a time for bold decisions, backed by fast, effective execution. you need a partner who understands complexity from factory floors to boardrooms and delivers measurable results. That partner is Alex Partners, when it really matters.
Well, this should have Japanese automakers worried. According to the state-run newspaper China Daily, China is likely to restrict exports of rare earth metals to Japan over a diplomatic dispute between the two countries. Japan relies on China for 60% of its rare earth imports, but the country depends on China for virtually all the types of metals needed for EV motor production, and those are the types that China is currently threatening to restrict. Analysts estimate that just a 3-month restriction would cost Japanese businesses $4.2 billion. Last year, China, which dominates the global supply of rare earths, curbed exports over a trade dispute with the U.S., and that forced several automakers to halt production because of part shortages. And sticking with China, the government is having a tough time trying to put a stop to the price war. Now foreign automakers are slashing prices and offering incentives to boost sales. BMW cut prices on 31 models, with the i7 electric sedan getting the biggest cut, a whopping $42,000. Volkswagen and General Motors are also offering new discounts. And automakers continue to slash prices because the growth of sales is slowing and they're struggling with overcapacity. The Chinese government is worried the price war could hurt its supply chain by forcing automakers to switch to cheaper and lower quality parts. So China issued new rules to try and curb the price cuts, but so far, they really haven't been effective. And with those discounts and new products that are tailored to the Chinese market, foreign automakers are starting to slowly turn things around. For example, GM and its joint venture partners sold nearly 1.9 million vehicles in China last year, an increase of 2.3%. While that doesn't seem like a huge jump, it is a big turnaround from 2024 when sales were down 14%. As we highlighted in the Volvo story, a number of automakers have adopted Gigacastings after Tesla made them popular. But Automotive News reports that other European automakers are turning to a less expensive process called Gigastamping. Gigacasting involves pouring liquid aluminum into high-pressure die casting machines to produce a single large part, potentially replacing hundreds of pieces. Gigastamping involves pre-welding pieces that can then be stamped into a single part, which eliminates 20 to 25 components. While that's not as much as gigacasting, the gigastamping process is less complex and allows for the use of steel, which is cheaper. And by using a less expensive process, it's also helping automakers offset the high cost of EV batteries. And don't forget to tune in to Autoline After Hours this afternoon. While John is still at CES, co-host Gary Vashelash is bringing in a panel to talk about 2025, what's ahead for 2026, and some of the cool tech coming out at CES. And be sure to check out our coverage from Las Vegas. We have several interviews posted on our website and YouTube channel about the new technology on display at the show. But that's a wrap for Autoline Daily. Thanks for tuning in.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Alex Partners, when it really matters. CSP, the Composites Solution Partner. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. And thanks to the following YouTube and Patreon members.
Developing today's vehicles. Issues can happen in an instant. When's the best time to solve a problem? The minute you know you have one. Meet Wireless NeoVi Cloud, your secure, off-the-shelf solution empowering real-time collaboration for quick resolution. With wireless Neovi Cloud, your team can prevent issues before they can escalate. Driver communication data and remote diagnostics to analyze and resolve your problems using OTA, allowing your executives oversight throughout the process. Wireless Neovi Cloud, your vehicle update solution in production and on the road. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
At CSP, we work with OEM engineers across the country on their journeys to lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly vehicles. Learn more at thecsp.com.